Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to more of the Pascal competition from the year 2002. We are all the way down at question number 20. It's the last question in part B. Let's take a gander. For how many integer values of x is the square root of 25 minus x squared equal to an integer? And we have some possibilities, maybe 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7. Well, being equal to an integer means that when we square it, we're going to get 25 minus x squared is equal to a perfect square. So I'm going to say let y equal the square root of 25 minus x squared. We're told that that is an integer. Now, it's a principal square root, which means that this can't be a negative number. You can't square root something and get a negative. So that tells me 0 is less than or equal to y. It's the square root of 25 minus x squared. What I could do is, I don't like this square root sign here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to square both sides. So I'm looking for a perfect square y that is 25 minus another perfect square. And if you're thinking Pythagorean triples, you're thinking right, and you may have done one too many of these competitions. But there's a little more to it. We can also say that this is definitely going to be less than or equal to 25. Right? X squared is at least a positive, but it's going to be a non-negative value. So 25 minus a non-negative value, it's going to be at best 25. At worst, it's going to be some really low number. So y squared is between 0 and 25. And if I were to take a look at all my possible y values, I'm looking for y squared to be a perfect square. I could have y squared is equal to 0, or 1, or 4, or 9, or 16, or 25. These are my only possibilities for what 25 minus x squared can be. It has to be a perfect square, so 25 minus x squared's got to be one of these. It's either going to be 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, or 25. So what we can do is take each one of these equations in turn, solve for x, and see, is x an integer? And how many integers solve this? So, for the first one, 25 minus x squared is equal to 0. Well, we can quickly rearrange that into 25 is equal to x squared. We can square root both sides. We're going to get x is equal to plus or minus 5. Right? 5 can go in here and get 25 out, but so can minus 5, and we need to remember that. Okay? So we could also have 25 minus x squared is equal to 1. We rearrange that, we get x squared is equal to 24. But 24 is not a perfect square, so this isn't going to work. But 25 minus x squared is equal to 4. Yet x squared is equal to 21. That's also not going to give us anything. We can recognize our perfect squares. 25 minus x squared is equal to 9. Well, that means x squared is going to have to be 16, and that gives us x is plus or minus 4. Got 2 more to try. X squared, or 25 minus x squared is equal to 16. We rearrange that, we get x squared is equal to 9. So x equal plus or minus 3 will do. Finally, 25 minus x squared is equal to 25. That gives us x squared is equal to 0. Only one value. You can't plus or minus 0. It's the same thing. So we get x equals 0. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 answers. 7 values for x, and we were asked how many values for x. And that is A, 7. Now, it's interesting to note, as we look through our answers, we could have had 7, 6, 5, 3, or 2. Now, if we were doing this question, but maybe we forgot, oh, you can have a minus sign in here. Maybe we just had 5. And maybe we just said, okay, you square root both sides. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 9 is 3. If we'd just done that, we would have thought our answer was 4. But there is no 4. So we do a little bit of a double take. And we would have said, well, each of these definitely works. 4 isn't one of our answers, so we've got to have either a 5th one, a 6th one, or a 7th one. And that's when we would clue in, oh, I must have missed something. I can do plus or minus. And that would give us all 7. So the way we've approached it, and I love the way they've set up the question so that we would look at it this way. Even if we forgot, you can do minus 5 and minus 3 and minus 4. They aren't going to try and trick you. There is no 4 for our answers, and that would prod us to think again. So I really like that. I really like whoever came up with the multiple choice options here. That they excluded 4, I think, is really good question design. Got us thinking. Or it would have gotten us thinking if we'd taken the wrong path through this question. All right, so that's question number 20. In the next video, we're going to start question 21, which is the very first question in part C, which are the much harder questions. So I'll see you then.